All right, a draft copy of the story. It's called The Very Scared Fridge. It's just a draft, remember. Once there was a fridge. His job was to keep all the family's food cold and ready to eat. But one day, he couldn't keep things cold anymore. The next day, a shiny new fridge turned up, and he was unplugged. The fridge was taken on a trolley and placed in a cold, damp shed. The shed was dark and cold, not like the warm, light place he'd come from. He could hear the new fridge inside, in his old place. It hummed, and it hummed, and it sang out to him, "Worry not, old fridge, your journey has just begun. You are so lucky. Things are going to be okay." After what seemed an eternity, the shed door opened, and standing there in the light was a man with a trolley and a truck. It was filled with other broken appliances. The man placed Fridge on his trolley very gently and led him to the truck. What a gentleman he was. As the man lifted him onto the truck, the other appliances that were there seemed just as unsure as Fridge was. None of them knew where they were going, so Fridge held on to the words the new Fridge had hummed to him. "You are lucky, it's going to be okay." They drove for some time, and when they first stopped, the man driving the truck jumped out and was greeted by a very old-looking man. The old-looking man looked up and down at all of the appliances on the truck. He pointed to a few, and those he pointed to came off the truck. Now there'd be a picture of an appliance repair store in that scene. The truck started up and drove on. Fridge and all the other appliances were very unsure. Suddenly, the truck pulled into a driveway. The place was loud with many people and big machines. Suddenly, the truck drove onto a large bridge. The truck stopped in the middle of the bridge, and for a split second, Fridge felt as light as a feather. The truck drove off the bridge and came to a stop. Many people came, and Fridge and his other travelling friends were taken off the truck. From there, they were taken to a huge warehouse where there were other appliances as far as the eye could see. They sat in the dark warehouse for some time. None of them minded, though, as they all had each other. Then one day, the door opened, and there were trucks far bigger than the first one as far as they could see. Slowly but surely, all of the appliances were loaded onto the trucks, and off they went. It was bright and sunny, and the trucks began to slow. Fridge could hear a strange squeaking sound and a loud long horn honk. They were in a shipyard. Before they knew it, the sides on the trucks dropped, and they were being carried through the air to a huge ship. Once they were all on the ship, it began to move. Slowly at first, there were two other small ships that helped guide the big boat out into the ocean. The boat swayed back and forth, front to back and left to right. It was a huge journey, and all the appliances decided it was best to just try and go to sleep. After a very long time, two little boats appeared and helped guide the huge boat into where it needed to go. Fridge and his friends were awake now, and the containers they were in were being moved off the big ship. As they landed on the ground and the doors were opened, they saw a very busy place indeed. Men with trolleys were everywhere, and one by one they were removed from their containers. The men unloaded them onto huge moving paths that seemed to stretch for miles. Fridge had to say goodbye to some of his friends as they'd been placed on different paths. Conveyor belts paths. Far in the distance, Fridge could see a huge factory. It sparkled and glittered. It looked very clean and tidy, more so than Fridge had ever seen before. As the path led Fridge into its narrow door, the path came to a stop. He was inside now, and what a glorious place it was. All around were shiny brand new things. Computers, televisions, phones and tablets, motorcycles, cars. They were just and some very, very fancy appliances, just to name a few. Almost out of nowhere, a beautiful woman appeared. "Hi," she said ecstatically. "I stopped this path because it's the first time for a lot of you being here." Fridge felt better just seeing and hearing her. Something was very special about her, and he liked it. "We call this wondrous place something new. And if you're here now, you're very special indeed," the lady said. Fridge blushed, but listened intently. "Being here means you're broken beyond repair. Now don't be sad about that. It's something to be very proud of, and it's why you're here in this very special place. In this place, you get to become something completely new. Anything you'd have ever wanted to be. In a moment, I'm going to restart this path, and as you can see, one at a time, you're going to pass through that curtained gate over there. Once passed through the gate, you may feel as if you are floating. Once you feel this, think of what you want to become. I'll see you on the other side of the curtain. I love you all, and I'll see you soon." And with that, the path started. Fridge was excited, but a little panicked. The curtain was drawing closer, but he had no idea what he wanted to be. He could not think of anything. He was worried, and he got very anxious. Then, just as he passed through the curtain, he remembered an incredible picture someone put on him with a magnet a long time ago when he still worked. Fridge began to float. There seemed to be nothing anywhere except some twinkles of light, kind of like nighttime stars. Fridge didn't know how long he was there, if it was a minute or 1,000 years. It was getting very warm, he thought, and then, whoosh! A big curtain of cold water hit Fridge. It had been getting very hot though, so it was somewhat refreshing. And just like that, and just like she had promised, there she was, the special lady. She came right down from way up the top of some stairs. It was all by herself with a huge mirror. "Are you ready?" she asked. "Yes," nodded Fridge. She held up the mirror, and there he was, but he wasn't a Fridge anymore. He was an amazing, super fast, rainbow-coloured Lamborghini. The end.